Okay, now we're going to look at the surface area and volume of a triangular prism. Again, I'm going to start with the piece-by-piece method. So if we look at the net, what we have here is a triangle up front, a triangle in the back, and three rectangles going around the side. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to find the area of the front, and that's by applying the formula half times base times height, or base times height divided by 2. This is just the area formula for a triangle. So the base of my triangle is 7, the height of my triangle is 3, so I plug those in. Now I'm going to use the fraction. You can use 0.5 if you want. Just here's a quick review of multiplying fractions. If we're going to do that, we do not need a common denominator. We can actually just multiply straight across, but we have to put the 7 and 3, the whole numbers, over 1. So multiplying straight across, 1 times 7 times 3 gives me 21. 2 times 1 times 1 gives me 2, and then I divide from that point. I can leave it as a mixed number as 10 and a half, but I'm going to go back to the decimals now. So the front is 10.5, has an area of 10.5 square meters. The back's going to be exactly the same, so once again they're identical, not going to really have to do much work there. Now the rectangles going around, I'm going to have to apply a different formula, length times width. So I'm going to be using the 11 quite a bit here because it is the length of each of the rectangles here. But I'm going to have different widths here. As you can see that the triangle in the front is scalene, so I'm going to have different rectangles going around the sides. So area equals length times width. 6 times 11, this is going to give me the area of this right rectangle. 7 times 11, that's going to give me the area of the bottom. 7 times 11, that's 77 square meters. And then the 4 times 11 is this difficult side to see here. It's 4 by 11, the rectangle on the left side, if you will. So now all I have to do is add all the pieces together. There's my front, there's my back, here are my lateral faces, which are all rectangles. And add these all up, and you're going to come to a surface area of 208 square meters. So that's the piece-by-piece method. Okay, make sure you know those basic formulas: triangle, rectangle. There's others, but in this figure, that's all you would need. Okay, so now we have the formula. Hardest thing about the formula is finding all these pieces because there's 5, and some people just, throw an L where it doesn't need to go or doesn't belong. So first, let's take a look. The width goes right across the front. That was pretty easy to label here. The S here, the slant here, is, again, really easy because it just shows you on the left side. Might be on the back. Remember that these two are exactly the same, so you may find a measurement that is somewhere else in the triangular prism. The length, really important. It's the I like to just look at it as the line connecting the two triangles, so it can be really anything here. But this was really easy to find because it matches up with the diagram perfectly. P here, one thing to note here, this on the diagram, we have the right side of this triangle. It's not found here, so we have to look up in front for it. So that's P. And H is actually the height of the triangle in the diagram. They show it in the back, but we have it in the front here. So now we're just going to plug these pieces in. Let's move this. And again, I'm labeled so I can just look up there. Surface area, width times height, plus length times width, plus length times P, plus length times S. I'm not really sure what the P stands for, but I gotta look that one up. Multiply, and then add, and we get 208 square meters. Okay, and let's go to the volume, because that's all formula driven as well. Again, just label your pieces. Be careful, because if they sit this up on one of the triangles, it's a little more difficult. So let's move this. Half times width times height times length. I get half. Well, here's my final answer. Instead of half here, I'm going to use 0.5. Make it a little easier with the calculator. 0.5 can be substituted in, times the width, which is 7, times the height, which is 3. Again, this is not 1, it's L, length. And the length is 11. Let's go back there. So multiplying those all out gives me the volume. So very formula driven. If you don't like the half, plug in the 0.5. Just make sure you have the correct pieces. Take your time with that and label them. So that's surface area and volume of a triangular prism. I hope it helps.